Hello and welcome to another Zoho CRM Plus video. In today's video we will be going over modules and fields, and more specifically how to tailor your modules and fields to suit the needs of your business. So here we are in a trial account of Zoho CRM, and to start editing your modules and fields you want to head over to the settings section up at the top right using the cog. Once you get into the setup section, you will want to go over to the customizations box here and go to modules and fields. So here we have all of your modules within Zoho CRM. So these are all of the tabs that show on the top bar of your CRM section. So the first thing that you'd want to do when setting up your CRM is go to Organise Modules. So in this section you can decide which modules are important for you as a business. So if you don't want to include accounts, for example, check that off, and you can move them around to suit the needs. So as I move contacts out the way so it doesn't confuse our sales team. Our sales team tend to use this section the most anyway, so I tend to leave that at the top. I'll then have deals in second, tasks, meetings and calls as a priority. So obviously report and analytics are only active within my setup, so if my sales team were to review their modules right now, neither of these would show. And I will click save. So when we really want to get into the nitty-gritty of editing what your team can see when going into a contact, for example, I will head over to the lead section. So it's set to standard at the moment, so what I will change that to sales team layout. Click save. So if I go into this section, it will bring up sort of a similar setup as what you see when you go into the contact itself. So it makes it really easy for you to tailor it to your needs. So as a first example, I like to move last name. So last name, for some strange reason on Zoho CRM Plus, is shown as a compulsory field. You cannot change this. I don't know why. So I tend to have them together. I will also move phone number over to show via email. Fax, I will remove this field. So there's just a few examples of how to move them about, how to delete. So lead status, for example, you can click on the three little buttons there and go to edit properties. So this is obviously an important aspect for the sales team. So at the moment it's got the pre-made fields that is set up within Zoho CRM as a standard. So you can edit these fields to suit the needs of your business and how the sales team operate. So for example, contact in the future, you can change it to suit the words that you need. Interested, but not yet. That's just an example of what you can do. You can move these around in terms of order and how they show within the field itself. So if we click done, that's that one. Also on the left hand side you can add your own personalized fields. For example, if I wanted to add a date and choose forecasted completion date, you can then add that section. So I'm going to remove title, I'm going to remove mobile, I'm going to move lead source over to lead status. As I mentioned in the previous video, you can also tailor this to suit the needs of your business. So say that you don't use trade shows, for example, and you use Google Ads, you can change that to Google Ads. This is obviously great for seeing where your leads are coming from and what your most successful channels of marketing are. So obviously great for your marketing department, great for your managers to see what leads are successful, where they're coming from, and what sort of budget would need to go into them particular types of lead generation. So I tend to delete secondary email, for example. Obviously, again, you can tailor this to exactly suit the needs of your business. So these are just a few examples. So if I go to save, and go back, obviously now you can see sales team layout, all the edits that I have just made are now in that contact. So if I go over to leads and I go to create a new lead, as you can see, I moved last name over to be closer to first name, and it's all in the order that I want to. So lead source, for example, if I go to Google Ads is now there, and it's exactly how we want it to look. So the next section where you can get a little bit more fancy with your lead layout is over back in the modules and fields section. So if I go back into leads and I go to layout rules. So layout rules are essentially a way of filtering and defining your contacts depending on what the user inputs within the lead itself. An example of this would be, say that you had a beauty business that offered training and also treatments. You would be able to add a field which defines between them both, and essentially you set a rule so when one is picked, only certain fields are shown, and then if the other one's picked, then other fields are shown. And I'll show you exactly how to get that set up within this example. So if I set this up as rule for department, change fields depending on department. So then I can go down and choose the field that I want. So one that we set up earlier was business department. So if the business department is set to training, which is one of the examples we give, and we go to next, it will then open this page which sort of gives you almost like a spider diagram of where it's going down the channel. So it's the same sort of concept. So when business department is set as training, you can then trigger an action. So I want to show, so it's training, so I don't want to show treatment, for example. I would like to show the course location, and I would also like to choose the course cost. So in order to do this, you will set up the fields as previously shown in the layout itself. These will then show in this section, and then I click save. I can also choose another option. When department is treatments, I can then trigger to show treatment location and treatment cost. And go to save. So as you can see, the rule for departments is now showing in the layout rules. So I'll go back into the lead section and show exactly how this works in action. So if I then go to create a new lead, as you can see, none of the fields are showing for example, course location or treatment location as of yet, because there's a rule set behind, so they only show. So if I click training, for example, you can see that something's triggered there. So course cost is triggered right there, and you can input an amount there. And if I scroll down, course location is also triggered. If I go back up and change this to treatments, you can see that has now changed to treatment cost, and if I scroll down, that is also changed to treatment location. So another section which is really good is obviously the homepage, which refers back to this section. So in the previous video, we've seen how this updates as you do things within the CRM. So we created an open task, for example, to call someone immediately, and then this was added to the home section. Same with the meeting that we added. So if we go back down to Customise Homepage, so the default is set as Manager's Home. So if we create a new homepage, for example, you can then choose the so you can choose the dashboard, for example, and then it's got the custom views. So for example, I'm going to have lead analysis. So as a marketing professional, I would like to see the top 10 lead sources that we have within the business. I would like to see how many leads we've had this week, and I would like to see how many leads we've had per industry. So that's just in the lead section, and then I'll go into marketing metrics and see how many campaigns I've sent out this week, and what's the expected revenue, and what's the budgeted cost. I would like to see also how many tasks have been completed this week. Save and share. So you can then call this the marketing homepage. So you can then decide who you want to share this with. I'll just share this with the head of marketing. Click save. So now we have the marketing homepage within this custom section. So if I then go back to home, obviously it's set as the social bubbles home at the moment, but if I change it to the marketing homepage, you can then see it from a marketer's perspective. And this is just a great way to sort of show different sides of the business without clogging up your homepage. So you can have one specifically for sales that you can look at, you can have one for marketing, so you can see all different aspects of the business, how they're performing, and you don't have to clog up your home screen. So yeah, that's all for today's video. I hope you found this sort of content helpful. If you did, please be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. There's going to be plenty more Zoho CRM Plus videos on the way. I like doing these sort of more in-depth videos to show people the different sections, because there is quite a lot of moving parts with Zoho CRM Plus. So yeah, be sure to like if you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.